This is the 274th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the second week of October 2017. This episode is titled Dreamforce Countdown. CloudFocus Weekly is brought to you by Clone This User. Duplicates you'll love. Clone an existing Salesforce user with a click of a button via the desktop or in Salesforce One Mobile. Available for free on the App Exchange, or go to www.clonethisuser.com. I'm your host, Jason Atwood, and joining me, co-host 274 times in a row, Justin Edelstein. Justin, how are you doing today?
Co-host with the most.
Oh, hey, let's go to the happy meter over here on the wall, and let's see where Justin is. 1 through 10, 10 being the happiest Justin's ever been. Like when the Yankees
go to the videotape.
When the Yankees won last night.
What am I wearing right now?
To the most upset he's been to 0. That's like when the U.S. Soccer team lost and were out of the World Cup.
Can you imagine a
You're
World
get
Cup?
about a 6.5.
Can you imagine a World Cup without the United States?
Yes, I can imagine it because it's going to happen.
Well, Fox is not pleased.
Oh, their ratings must just go in the tanker.
I imagine in the
pooper.
United States, the ratings go in the tanker.
Yeah, well, for Fox, that matters.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
BBC is
Big
probably
time.
still going to get their ratings.
Everywhere else, they don't care.
They don't care. The rest of the world's pretty much
Here,
into it.
we care.
We were going to
We
care.
like to watch ourselves.
Now we're not going to care.
Well, I'll still be watching it.
I'm predicting viewership from last World Cup will be down 15%.
Oh, probably more.
Okay, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean,
And that means
especially when
advertisers
the United States
and-
is not in it. It's not going to be a good situation.
All right,
for
next
them.
week on Cloud Sports Weekly. All right, so we have an agenda today.
I was enjoying the sports chatter, the sports
you know what?
banter.
There are other blog
Sports
posts,
banter.
podcasts
Are there
out there.
what blog posts? Are there
Padcasts?
pads, blogs?
Your
What are you even
podcast?
talking about?
I don't know.
Do you even say words?
I'm so glad you're happy. All right, so we have a couple blogs to catch up on, and we're going to talk a little Dreamforce. Then we have a couple pieces of news, one of which isn't even Salesforce. What?
We do that
Hey, once in a while.
all the time.
And then we will head on to, I just thought of making a funny pick, but I'm not going to make it. My big purchase over the summer, I was going to make that my pick of the week.
No, that's a big purchase. I wouldn't be talking about that.
No, I
on
wouldn't
the
either. All right, so...
podcast. Maybe one day when you're real desperate for a pick.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. All right, so let's go first up on the blogs that were. We've got two. First one, written by the blogger to never be mentioned, who we know he doesn't listen to this podcast.
Just rinse and repeat, recycle, reuse, all the
Copy,
words that
paste.
copy paste, anything you can say. Sorry, Arkus blog readers,
Fine.
about this one.
Fine,
Fine last
2016.
because when I called him out on a thing, he's like, "It's been the same for the last 4 years." That was the excuse. Like, how about changing it?
So this is the blogger who shall never be named.
Although his name's on it.
Yeah, I know, but we don't name him. Hey,
Well, yeah.
no one who listens to this. My theory is the Venn diagram between listeners and readers is like very small.
No, I don't think that's true.
I think it's very. Everybody I talked to. Well, I know one who actually listens and
all
reads.
the people that you talk to, like that one person.
No, I've talked to a couple people. I talked to people about our podcast.
Hey, let us know if it sounds windy in here still.
We got the wind noise reduced,
But it is super windy.
but it should be. It's not as bad. I can even tell by the mic. I'm looking at the stream here. By the way, we're back to me recording because I finally got GarageBand to work again under High Sierra.
So I had 1 week of being the producer.
Yes.
That was a fun week. Best produced podcast.
Worst ever. You
It's
didn't
up for an award.
You did nothing
It's
but
up for an
record it.
award.
You did nothing but record
It's
it.
up for the award of best produced
If
podcast
you had
of
actually done
the year.
anything else, like actually publish it, it would have been cool. But since you didn't do that, it's not really that interesting.
That's not my job. I just produce. I don't publish.
No, you do
I'm
not.
talent.
Neither.
Do it live.
Oh my god! I can't. What's worse, like you in your grumpy mode where you stop talking, or when you just start talking nonsense? I can't really tell.
I think this is worse.
You think it is?
I don't know. Tell us.
Oh my god!
Which one do you prefer? Tweet at us.
Okay. And that wraps up. All right, so
Thanks for downloading. Later.
The very well popular post from the blogger. Top 10 reasons to go to Dreamforce 2017.
I'm not gonna be able to stop laughing.
No. The joke is that
Everything's a joke.
this blogger went and wrote something else that was very private, but I guess we could say what it was. It was a fantasy football kind of like smack talky thing, I guess. And it was hysterical.
It was the best thing he's ever written.
And well written. Not things I would say about this post.
I even wrote to his smack talk, this is the best thing you've ever written, and I've been reading your blog posts for 17 years.
That's at least 7. All right, so let's pick. So this is top 10. We'll pick one each of things that you're good. Because there are actually things in here that you want to.
Okay, sure.
So you pick one, I'll pick one.
All right.
Of the top 10 things.
All right. Well,
top 10 reasons to go to Dreamforce.
Sure.
Various different reasons.
I'm going to pick, instead of picking keynote speakers,
I'm
going to pick one of a keynote speaker that's also mentioned as a reason.
Okay.
Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. He is a great... I've heard him as an interview on Howard Stern, and you'd think, oh, well, that's a silly interview, right? Howard Stern interviewing Ashton Kutcher.
And then?
He's the real deal. I mean, he is quite the venture capitalist. He was just mentioning that he was starting up his third fund. He's very early on very, very, very popular and just three varies.
Three varies, okay.
And then? He's really early on very popular and very successful technologies. Obviously, you don't hit on everything, but he's also been a guest host on Shark Tank. I mean, he's clearly
he was
a real deal investor.
He is. He doesn't have the $3.2 billion that Mark Benioff has, but
Mark Cuban?
Cuban. Mark's 1.1, I think. Benioff's like 1.1.
Either way, I think he will have he'll have a lot of interesting things to say. And blogger X mentions Skype and Airbnb. I think he was also pretty early in Uber. And a number of others that he was actually talking about a few on the interview that he was like pretty amped up about. So cool. I'm excited to hear what he has to say.
I will go with about excited on the excitometer, 0 to 10. This is like a 9 for me, which is Michelle Obama. Like,
I didn't want to name the obvious.
Yeah, that is this totes ob.
Yeah,
totes obvi, as my 12-year-old would say. This is great. There's only one other person I can think of that would be almost better to talk, and she's married to him. But other than that, I'm really interested.
What if he just came out? Like,
oh my goodness!
Like wrestling style.
Happy.
They just, oh my god! Is that Barack's music?
Tagging
it. Then he comes out.
All right. So there are many other reasons. Go read them all and see which ones are the exact same from last year. All right.
Actually, that'd be a fun exercise. Someone do that.
Compare and contrast. I will say I have a couple that I throw out there, including the one that I'm running for next week, that are a little bit, boilerplate. But like my predictions one, I actually have to make predictions. I can't just...
Sometimes they even come true.
They do.
Yeah.
Oh, funny side story. Watched Silicon Alley.
Silicon Valley?
Valley. Last night, finished it.
Oh, yeah.
And they do the whole HooeyCon.
Yeah.
They must have taken a lot of those shots from Dreamforce. Because there's a lot of HooeyCon shots that look like just shots from Dreamforce.
Well, they could be from any conference at Moscone.
And a lot of the cloud stuff in the center, and I don't know. It just looked like something they had filmed. HooeyCon. The show is not as good as it was.
No.
But it's worth a laugh. Like it's fun to watch.
No, I mean it was as all those are, generally they're better early than the comedies. Like they kind of trail off, like they lose steam.
Right.
Although Veep is the opposite. Veep
how about this?
Towards
steam. The end of the year, when we have nothing else to talk about, we'll do our
more TV
top 10 TV shows of 2017.
Oh, I'm in.
I know.
Oh, I'm so in.
I know.
Oh my, I'm ready right now.
All right. Well, let's start thinking about it.
Do that right now.
You actually do homework.
I just did it.
Okay.
Done.
And it can't be something that was released. We can either do top 10 shows you watched in 2017.
Okay, I think that's better.
Then right, because it might not be something released this year, but it cannot be something that like you rewatched The Wire for 17th time or 18th.
I haven't done that this year yet.
Okay, good. Yet.
No.
I mean, you were out sick for like a week and a half or whatever with your leg.
No, you know what I rewatched?
What?
I watched all of Deadwood.
Oh, that's a quick watch, though. It's only
three seasons, but I watched it.
So good.
I don't remember
on all
thing.
the drugs.
Yeah, I was so
on.
drugged out.
All right. So let's move on. Next blog post by blogger Peter Huete.
You're just going to mispronounce everyone's last name as to not offend the people whose last names you actually cannot pronounce.
Exactly. Well, we know there's one in the other room that says you mispronounce that person's name all the time. So whatever. Just saying.
I've tried to go over it with her, and I just can't
why are you throwing out the her?
There's a lot of hers.
Okay. Anywho, Peter Huete. Huete.
The heat.
Wrote and published this morning, actually, about his You've Got Mail from Salesforce, which I read it. And this is one of those ones that kind of gets by me during the week. I'm one of the many people who read the blog post before they get posted, but sometimes I don't get to it. So I got to read it as it was published, and then I got to go into a sandbox and play with it and tried it. So it's all basically about the new list email. Now you wrote about it in your blog post.
I did, yeah.
Salesforce Winter 18 filled lightning experience gaps.
That's right.
That's a mouthful.
You wrote that title.
Yeah, well, it's all about the SEO.
Yeah.
It's all about the SEO.
Yeah.
Right. And Lightning, Winter 18, Salesforce, you're going to get 1 million hits.
Yeah, sure.
You're going viral.
That's why people like our blog posts, because they find it.
Because they find them.
Not that they really like it, it's just there.
Right. But Peter did a good job sort of just really deep diving into it and showing it with our favorite things.
Screenshots, red arrows.
Red arrows,
all
by the way.
Classics.
All the classics. So the feature, so Lightning, Winter 18, Lightning only. This is one of those, let's get over to Lightning.
Well, it's one of those, and this was the point of my blog post, which was...
Why are we talking about your blog post?
Because I'm me, and I like myself. Because the idea is that they took a feature that did exist in Classic and still does, and just made it better.
Right.
They took mass email, and they made it useful.
Hiddenest feature ever.
Yeah, but it existed.
It was under the tools section. You could do it from a list view, but not from a one that already existed. You had to create a new one
every time,
deep inside this part. So you couldn't go grab one that existed.
And you had to have a template already existing.
And a template already existed. So all that's fixed. I used it this morning just to try it in a sandbox, and it was great. Literally, take a list view of contacts, hit quick all, hit send list email, and then you go right into an editor. You can hit templates. You can build your own template on the fly. You can preview it per person, and then you hit send, and it logs it to the thing. The one weirdness that I noticed, and there's actually a huge warning above it when you look at it, is in the history on the contact.
Yes.
It shows you the templated version, not the filled out version. A little weird. So I sent to Dear Sarah or Bob Boberson, and it's, Dear insert Bob's name, whatever. When I look at the template, or when I look at it in their activity history, it shows the brackets and the insert, the merge field. Kind of didn't know if that was great. You can't reply to that. You can't forward that. I don't know. I mean, I kind of get why they did it because it's generic. You can then see all the people you sent it to. But if there was a lot of merge, you actually wouldn't know what you sent them.
No, you wouldn't.
Because it was like, how about you merge?
You have to reference.
Yeah. How about... I mean, they obviously figured out one way to do it. I could see an idea where, why don't you give me two ways of seeing this? Maybe the filled out version and the not filled out version. Or make it an option. Leave another one that I could see the filled out version just as a separate activity that's kind of dead. As opposed to this one, which you can kind of see all the people. I don't know. Anyway, great feature. I really like it. And the inline building of templates, email templates, is.
I mean, that's just great all over great. Lightning.
It's great.
That's a great one.
It is super great.
Thanks for that one.
Yeah. So anyway,
and you can save them for reuse later, which is cool.
Yeah. So you've seen his last picture. you can see it says blah blah blah, dear contact first name. So so it's a little weird that a little weird, but still cool. You can still see it. So thanks, Huate, for publishing that up for us. That's all. Both blog posts are on blog.arkusinc.com. And if you want to search for Dreamforce and go back and see search for top 10 Dreamforce and see if you can do a comparison side by side on every one of his for the last 4 or 5 years, 5 years.
4 of them are like guarantees. Mark Benioff. Keynote.
Networking.
Keynotes.
Giving back.
Concert. Great. Whoever it is.
Speaking of the concert, good Segui.
Oh, thanks.
It is Alicia Keys and special guest Lenny Kravitz.
Not bad.
It's pretty good.
Not U2.
No,
but not bad.
It's definitely when they put up that list of people and they had Taylor Swift and Timberlake on there, you're kind of like, whoa, we're gonna go balls to the wall on this one, and then it comes up with Alicia Keys. I think Alicia Keys is great.
Still a good.
She's not touring. She's not doing anything, so it's kind of cool to see her now because she's not. It's not like she's on a tour.
Yeah.
Like U2 was on a tour.
Yeah. So
you could go see U2 anywhere. I mean, this was a special concert, but this is like, you might not be able to see Alicia Keys because she's really not out there doing stuff right now. What's your thought? You're gonna go because you would go no matter what.
Yeah. And it's at AT&T, which is easy to get to.
Much better. Yeah,
you don't have to get in a bus.
Yeah, you can walk.
Which is a nightmare.
You can walk from our hotel that we usually stay at. It's a long walk, but it's a walk.
It's like a mile and a half.
Right. In New York, that's
fine.
That's next door.
I'll be there in 20 minutes.
That's right. I'm still undecided. Don't know if I want to break my streak.
Ooh. Undecided, you say?
Yeah. Undecided, you say? Oh wow, the new Star Wars trailer's out, but we're not talking about that.
People are buying tickets and stuff already.
Oh yeah, it's not buying tickets yet.
People are nuts.
You
people and your tickets and your
looks good.
Crazy.
I love their stuff. Love it's just more content. All right, let's get out of there.
Okay.
We have 2.
Trailhead for students.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this the other day.
I know, and you posted it in our own personal.
I did.
Thing. So why don't you talk to me about it?
It was published on my birthday.
Aw, happy belated.
Isn't that cool?
I mean, I've actually spoken to you many times since then.
Yeah, you have.
And wished you a happy birthday. Probably one of the first people in the day to wish you a happy birthday.
Yeah.
That didn't do it on Facebook.
Probably. Yeah. That's good. It's good.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, so I think this is more of, I think, at the moment, that this is more of a...
Want some qualifiers
hey,
in there?
this is kind of coming.
Okay.
As opposed to, like, this is here for everybody.
Okay.
Because I don't really see too much detail, or when I read the article, and now I'm sort of rereading it to get myself up to speed again on it, I don't necessarily see, like, a huge... like, okay, here's how it all works for educators and here's how it all works for students. It's more like, here's some resources, like some slide decks and sample class formats and some sample classroom materials that are maintained by Salesforce experts. Is that me? Is that you? Like, who is that?
Well, I mean, it's clearly me.
Basically prepare to teach a course by skilling yourself up with Trailhead. And then eventually, like, just teach a course with Trailhead. So it's basically just Trailhead packaged.
Right, packaged Trailhead, which clearly is going to be a long way. A lot of what Trailhead's going to be doing is packaging up Trailhead for different areas. Hopefully, Trailhead becomes Trailhead, customizable Trailhead. Not picking my own paths, super cool, or trails, or blazing trails, but more of, hey, I want to build my own content.
Trail mixes is what you're talking about.
Yeah, trail mixes. I don't want to do trail mixes. That's cool. I more of
They're useful.
I want you give me a template, me fill out, me put the little quizzy at the bottom, and...
Well, yeah, you want the authoring tools.
I want the authoring tools, yeah. And then private, because I want to train people at Arkus with Trailhead.
We would buy this, although we'd also take it for free.
Shut up. Take that out in post.
Knock it off.
Well, I'll say we're evaluating another LMS that's a HR LMS, and in some ways it is as antiquated as you can't imagine. Yeah. The problem with Trailhead probably isn't sure, they give me the authoring tool, but
I have a feeling the authoring tools are rather tricky.
Well, I don't think they're rather tricky. I think it's the content to put into it. And do most organizations want to build out their own content? We personally would. I could take a YouTube video, what I want you to learn about it, stick it in the middle, and at the end, give you 3 questions I wanted you to get out of it, and create a badge. I'd do that because that's me. I think a lot of organizations are like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
I have a feeling the authoring tools are not as
Well, they need to make them better.
good as maybe.
Right.
Because otherwise, I feel like they'd be pumping out these things like left and right and center.
Also, it depends if it's just video, content, video, quiz versus content, video, quiz.
Connect to org.
Connect to org and figure something out.
It's tricky too.
That's trickier. There's probably some crazy, but anyway, Trailhead is explained. I'm expecting massive Trailhead news at Dreamforce.
Me too.
I'm expecting a mic drop on Trailhead.
Big mic drop. Maybe a tree drop.
A tree. Maybe. Oh god. Sorry. All right.
Maybe a big bear in a server room.
Server bear.
Server bear.
Server bear.
Hashtag server bear.
Hashtag never forget hashtag server bear.
Einstein's going to go figure out that the server bear tripped over the wire.
With virtual reality, SOS.
Augmented reality to see the wire
And
unplugged.
he'll track it in Quip.
Right.
All right, let's move on. This is a...
Wait, where's the drone come in, though? To deliver the 6-pack of Coke.
Well, when the server bear is thirsty, after eating all the wires...
You got to deliver the Mountain Dew to the engineer who's feverishly trying to figure out, and then all of a sudden Einstein shows up. He's like,
whatever.
The cord is unplugged.
You can set up... The
cord is unplugged.
Oh.
Einstein figured it out with his artificially intelligent whatever. It's like... Plug. Check the plug.
If it's not...
That's the first thing. Check the plug.
That's what I kind of feel like, though. I feel like it's a little bit... This is going to be a rehash Dreamforce because... And we'll do Dreamforce predictions in a couple weeks. But I really feel like it's going to be kind of last year times 10. Like, if you thought you had enough Trailhead in you last year, you're going to get double the Trailhead. If you thought you got enough Einstein, you're going to get triple the Einstein.
Lightning, Einstein, Trailhead.
That's it. I can't imagine they're going to...
Maybe. Marketing Cloud.
Oh, Marketing Cloud. Marketing Cloud's big. All right, next up and lastly in our agendas here.
Oh, sad day.
I know. AOL Instant Messenger is shutting down on December 15th. AIM.
Where you going, AIM? Why are you leaving me?
What a super, super, super cool... And I know chat existed. Like, chat existed out there in the planet ever since the internet started. In fact, green screen chat, there's been chat around. But AOL Instant Messenger and the ability... Kind of the way they did it was break it away. I think where it got really super popular is when they broke it away from AOL.
Yeah, when it was its own app.
It was its own thing. You didn't even have to be in AOL to do it. You kind of had to have an account, but not an AOL account. Like you didn't have to pay for it.
Well, no, you needed an AOL account at first. Sure.
But then you didn't.
All you needed was the internet.
Right.
Because AOL was most people's ISP.
Right. Well, a lot of people.
Then
you got those.
I would say most
CDs.
like a majority of the people.
No, they were fighting with not net. There's a couple big ones back then.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. Instant Messenger was like, it was really It was like what texts are now. You'd say you're away. I'm away. Okay.
I'm away now.
I'm here. Listening to whatever
and
song I'm listening to.
Yeah, and eventually you got the whole, you could see someone typing. That was like such a big thing. Like, oh my
Ooh, they're there. Ooh.
And I think about Slack, which we use now, and I think Slack is so much better in so many ways, but in some ways does the same stuff. Like,
well, chat, it has the persistence.
Yes.
The group persistence.
It has groups. There's a million things that Slack has that are just way and above. But the idea to sit in your office and to be able to ping somebody, which we were doing back in,
the 90s.
The 90s. This is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But in some ways it hasn't changed a lot. It's kind of like conference software. Well, it's gotten better and they now have better video, better whatever. The ability to share your screen or get on a conference call and like have people log in and show stuff is pretty much the same.
Hey, Slack has that now.
Well, Slack has screen
Did
sharing.
that yesterday, actually, with somebody.
Slack has voice and video. Does it do video? No.
Yes.
Oh, it does have video.
I use that all the time.
The video talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
Anyway, goodbye, my sweet prince AOL.
Yeah, bye AOL. Bye AIM.
Bye AIM.
It was cool. It had the little icon. Ooh,
The running man icon.
running.
Yeah. It's kind of the death of AOL. I mean, I feel like this is the official. This is like putting the flower.
This is the official?
This is the official. This
Was
is like
anyone using this anyway?
Well, I'm just saying this is the official of AOL. I mean,
Okay.
yes, some people still have an AOL account email address, which
That's
I find,
true.
which is ridiculous.
It's like having a Yahoo email account.
Oh, no.
I mean, Gmail's like acceptable.
Yes.
It's kind of the standard, I guess, for like
Personal.
the free personal email address.
Yeah. All right. So goodbye, AOL. We will miss you.
All right, let's pick some picks.
All right. Well, what we're gonna do next time?
I don't know. You left that blank.
Poor-
Or not.
more Dreamforce.
CloudFocus whenever. We'll be back with some stuff.
Listen, we're on track for our 24 episodes this year.
We are, aren't we?
It's just over. Right. That's fine. Plus, if we actually do Dreamforce, we'll slay it. If we do like 3 or 4 within Dreamforce.
That means we have to
slay.
bring microphones to Dreamforce and like
We'll take
figure
our-
out a
we have our
place
mini
to
ones.
figure out a place to actually do it because we used to have a podcast station.
Well, Salesforce doesn't believe in podcasts anymore.
Clearly, because they have their own like 5, and then there's about 100 others that have spouted out.
Yeah.
They would fill that thing for the entire
Yep.
show,
They could have it literally going the entire time.
the entire time.
I don't think
They were
want to.
early on it, and
then
then
now they're late.
Now they're not even non-existent.
Now
Thanks,
they're-
Salesforce. Thank you for nothing.
Thank you for letting go for not believing in podcasts.
Yeah, I would have Einstein on the podcast.
At CEO at Salesforce.com.
Yeah, I'm gonna send him.
All right, let's
something.
pick a.
All right, let's do it.
Let's pick some picks here. Some CloudFocus pick of the week. I'm going to leave out app because neither one of us is picking.
We're
app.
picking hardware.
We're picking hardware.
Well, mine's actually software too.
Can't
There
use
is
the
an
software
app.
without the hardware. Everything has a software associated to it. Come on, go pick it.
Sonos.
So no who?
Sonos. So I recently moved, and with that came updates and upgrades to technology all across the apartment.
Called if you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound.
We're in for pounds. And a friend of mine has Sonos when he redid his apartment, and
Yep.
I've been over there a bunch and have seen what it's capable of doing, have heard it. I went over and walked through everything with him. It was great. I was like really into it. Then we went to the Sonos store here in New York,
Right.
where they have a store in Soho that has these really well set up showroom listening booths.
Yep.
And they basically set it up to have these different zones. So again, Sonos, for those who don't know, speaker system,
Yep.
all done over Wi-Fi. Some of which though are hardwired, plugged in. So I do have some that are plugged in, like the one to the TV is hard plugged.
Well, everything
into
has
the
to plug
TV.
in because it needs power.
Well, everything is plugged into an actual electric. Yeah, everything has an electric plug.
Some things need
so
a
it needs
source
its own
that
amplification.
need to come from hardware.
Actually, none of them need that.
Well, the TV one does because it needs to get the source from TV.
Yes, if I were to use it for TV,
Right.
it can act as its own speaker and not require the television at all.
Right. But I'm saying like there are some things that
Yes, if you
Cannot
want to
produce-
use the TV with the Sonos, you've got to plug it in with an optical cable.
yes.
If you want to listen to a record player using Sonos, you've got to plug it in somehow to a Sonos.
Since you'll
Anyway,
take forever, I will say what I've noticed about your system is that they do kind of have, and I liked about Sonos, I went after you kind of said, and you're like, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm like, oh, I went and researched a bit. I like how they kind of have something for everything. Like if you have a record player, we got a solution. You got a small apartment, we got a solution. You got a house with 17 places, we got a solution. My buddy's had one out in Long Island by his pool, and he had it, has a 3 or 4 hour on the pool. We have an outdoor solution. They're very and they seem to be, which you've said, but I'm waiting to see actually how they handle with the, the whole Apple thing. They seem to be going, we're agnostic to the source. We don't care. We're not going to make Sonos, our own Sonos music plays.
Well, they did.
They did. And
they had one.
And they backed away from it.
And they wisely, the innovator's dilemma, they wisely pulled out of that. And now it's basically any music service on your phone, essentially.
Right.
So if you're using Apple Music, great. It's in the Sonos app. It just pulls it right in. If you're using Spotify, great. If you have physical files on your device, great. We got it. So they have apps for the desktop. They have apps for your mobile devices, so phone and tablets. And it just hooks up to your Wi-Fi, and it's the easiest setup I've ever seen in my life to set something up that's seemingly complicated, because we've got them set up in 4 different rooms, and you can control all 4 different rooms independent of each other from the same one app. And you can even group them together so that you can have the same thing playing across a bunch of different rooms or different things going in different rooms. It's really pretty cool. And the sound quality, the fidelity of the speakers themselves, I'm not an audiophile, but for me, they sound great. So I'm very happy with them. And the price point varies. They have the Play 1, the Play 3, and the Play 5. The Play 1 is the smallest one. The Play 5 is the biggest one. It can do the most things. They also have sound bars and bases for the televisions. They have a subwoofer. They have a thing called a Connect that basically you can plug anything into it, and then it can even turn like a legacy speaker into a Sonos speaker, which is kind of cool. You can control any speaker that you have and turn it into a Sonos speaker, which is pretty neat.
Very cool. Sonos, there's tons of them. I personally want to see what Apple's going to do with the AirPod or HomePod that's coming out in December, just because it's...
Just because you're Apple, that's it.
Well, no, because it has things that Sonos doesn't. So you said the other day, Sonos has Alexa built in. You said it's terrible. You can barely do anything. So when I throw on the HomePod and I can fully talk to it and ask about who the drummer is in this thing and fully control that and the rest of my house with a HomePod, I'm going to be like, well, that's where I want to see what the comparison is. But from a solution, it looks great, sounds great, awesome. I'm going to make a very simple one, which is everybody's always looking for batteries. There are kind of like 2 types of batteries, or 3 types. There's the kind that you clip on your iPhone. I feel like those are kind of going away. I don't think people
just to
use those
clarify,
much.
you're not talking about battery. You're talking about like a charger for your phone,
USB
or your
charger,
USB
whatever.
charger
The
thing.
kind of thing you need constantly because your battery
Especially
runs out.
come Dreamforce time,
Right.
You kind of need these things.
So I'm going to pick the Power Banks Rav Power 2200 portable charger. It is, just to give you, it's pretty big, but it can charge.
It is pretty big. It looks like a brick.
It is a brick, but it can charge. 2200 is it's a lot. It can charge an iPhone 6 8 times.
Wow.
Yeah, it can charge
like a full from 0 to 100 6 times.
It can charge an iPad Air 1.5 times. So it can fully get your iPad back up and running. But 8 times, and with 3 ports on the top.
So you could charge a bunch of things at one time.
You could have 2 of your buddies hanging out there.
So this has 3 USB ports. Where's the thing
the
that so you could use this also as a kind of like a splitter. So if you were traveling, you can travel with this, have this plugged into the wall so it's consistently being charged, and then plug 3 things into it.
I guess you could.
Because this is like a 3 you could plug your watch, your iPad, and your iPhone into this at one time.
It's kind of interesting. Never thought of that way. You would still need the plug thing.
Yeah, but you'd only need to have one thing plugged into the wall.
Right.
That's it.
It's kind of true.
That's a good way to use this.
That might be.
There you go.
I might
Brilliant.
try with that.
I'm brilliant.
So I'm just having another one that we both got a few holidays ago that I'm going to move over to my small bag, and this one's going to go into my big travel bag.
Big bag.
It also has some fast charging, so it'll charge up very fast, and then it has like a 24-hour where it'll go full boat, or it has like a 3-hour get as much as it possibly can. So they're getting smarter. Everybody needs it, especially so it's the Power Banks Rav Power 22,000 portable charger, $40 on Amazon. So go buy it. All right, that's it for this week. Follow us on Twitter at Just Edelstein, at Jason Matwood, at Arkus Inc. We're on the Facebook /Arkus Inc. We're in the Success Community and the Power of Us hubs. We have our own group in there. If you want to you just want to listen or just want to know when things are coming on, that's a good place to follow us or follow those groups. We don't. Not a lot of noise. We just put the podcasts in there. We're on the LinkedIn. We're on the Google+. We are in Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, and there's one other that came up the other day. I was like, why are we not in that one?
I don't know.
I don't have to go figure out where it is. Until next week, it's Justin and Jason saying, enjoy those cloudy days.